Hey everybody, welcome to the Ballet Rising videocast and happy World Ballet Day 2021. I'm really excited to be speaking today with someone who I've been really interested to talk to for a very long time. He's originally from Mumbai, India, and I first noticed him in a story on the BBC about the Billy Elliot of India, and I thought, wow, this kid is really talented. I later noticed that there was a film that apparently I found out later is based partially on his life and how he grew up and got into ballet. It's called Yeah Ballet and it's on Netflix, and I highly recommend everybody check it out. It's quite entertaining. I then noticed some time ago a story on an Indian dancer who's recently joined one of the premier ballet companies of the United States, the Miami City Ballet. And it turns out this is all the same person. And so I thought, okay, I've really got to finally get in touch with him and speak to him. He is a really, really fun guy. He's extremely talented. His story of how he got into ballet and his life and moving around the planet and what he's done at such a young age is quite spectacular. But just a fun person to talk to, and I'm really excited to have him here on the Ballet Rising videocast for World Ballet Day. So let's all welcome Amir Shah. All right, everybody, happy World Ballet Day. We are here with Amir Shah. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you for the invitation to coming on your show and talk about life, culture, ballet, and other things.
All the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff.
So I just realized today, I've been accidentally stalking you for some time now. So it started a while ago. I saw this story on the BBC a while ago about the Billy Elliot of India. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Someday I should reach out and talk to that guy. I think that'd be really fun. He looks quite talented. I saw the video and I was like, okay, looks, yeah, very talented. And then later I came across this movie called Yeah Ballet on Netflix that I think everyone should watch. It's a really, really interesting story. Turns out it's actually based partially on your life. And then just like I think it was last week or just, several days ago, I saw that Miami City Ballet hired a new dancer from India. And I thought, okay, nice. Looks like beautiful facility, good feet, looks like a good dancer. He's from India. I thought, again, I should reach out and talk to him. Turns out it's all the same guy.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy to finally talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm pleased to talk to you as well today. Yeah, thank you. Where am I getting you from? Amsterdam?
Yeah, I'm at home in Amsterdam. It's my wonderful apartment. I use my sofa. My girlfriend hates it. She's like, okay, my apartment is turning into your sound studio again. So, but it's a nice setting. So yeah, you're in Miami now?
Yes, I am in Miami. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful, sunny Miami.
Absolutely, it's sunny. While I'm sitting at the office, that's why I'm wearing this. But yeah, it's sunny outside. It's sort of humid. Yeah, a lot of people walking on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, having fun. People having fun, coming for vacation and stuff. So
yeah, what is the adjustment like between Mumbai and Miami? I mean, it seems like there's a lot of differences, obviously, but a lot of similarities as well.
Right. Yeah. Well, when I came to the US, I came from London, actually. I didn't come from Mumbai because I moved to the UK about 4.5 years ago when I got the invitation to come and be with the upper school with the Royal Ballet in London, in Covent Garden, actually, the place where you want to be,
that's a special place.
Royal Opera House is just like next door, and the crossing bridge, the bridge of inspiration, like they say, so it's like the school and the Royal Opera House is connected there. And when in 2017, when I first joined, people would used to go for like canteen. The Royal Opera House had the canteen where they would make pasta with like shrimps and a lot of like salad and sweet potato, and a lot of good stuff. And I mean, Royal ballet dancers would come and also have lunch there, sit down, and the staff as well. So we would cross the bridge a few times. We would have the pass of Royal Ballet School, and coming, they'd give us some. I don't think so. They gave us any discount actually, and the price was fairly reasonable. Like
for London.
For London, it's expensive actually, really expensive. Like you just stay there for a few nights and you see your bank account like 40 pounds left.
Yeah. I've been to London quite a few times and it was just shocking. Yeah.
It is. Actually.
Let's go back a little bit and just let's talk a little bit about yourself, about where you're from. Obviously, you're from Mumbai. How did you grow up and how did you get into ballet?
Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up in Mumbai, in Mumbai, and I used to do a lot of breakdancing before I got into ballet. I would dance in like a lot of weddings without invitation actually. Like people would invite you to come, but then me just showing up there without invitation, and people will be like, who's this guy? Like randomly just popping up by and like just starting to dance. And with my group, I had like a group there with I was involved with like a couple of other street dancers. Together became like brothers, dance together for like quite a few years there. Well, I used to work for my family actually, before I even got into break dancing and street dancing. I would work and then in a hotel, cleaning the tables and like, picking up towels, serving the food sometimes maybe. And I'd see like a bunch of people just dancing and got me curious, like, wow, I want to be able to do the flip, I want to be able to do the windmill, as we said in our street dancing words, like that. Oh, we want to do that, all that cool stuff. And it wasn't like, oh, wanting to impress somebody. It's just the joy of being able to do things, what other people, normal people, as we call normal people, can't do that. But got involved with a lot of people when I started street dancing, meeting a lot of people, and also showing up in a lot of competitions. Also going on the beach and like trying flips. Actually, I don't know. I saw a backflip in a competition where I saw the flip and I was like, wow, this is incredible. People would flip backwards. Wow. And then I tried once and I ended up getting a lot of pain actually in my back. Yeah, I tried it and I was like, wow, that looks like a magic, and I wanna do that. I did it, and the next thing I knew, I was down there on my back. Landed on my back. I mean, luckily it was on the beach, so nothing really happened apart from just pain here and there. So I started dancing when I was about probably 10 or something, break dancing, and then my brother Nizamuddin Shah, who's an actor as well. He worked in the movie as well. He played as a real brother. Actually, he played.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that later because I was going to say that guy looks a lot like your real brother.
Yeah, oh, real brother. Yeah. So I mean, he's an actor. He was a dancer too. We did, you know, things together. But growing up, we would go for a run together in the morning, 5 o'clock. We would wake up. And so yeah, so well, he's an actor, and he works in the industry right now. And that movie was like an introduction for him to get into the industry, work with people,
Yeah.
get to know producers,
Yeah, he did a
directors.
great job. I was going to say that.
Yeah, he's a good actor, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he has it. He has it. The magic. So I believe in him.
It was very
So
believable.
yeah, very much. And then he got involved with. Well, he always knew that I loved dancing and jumping around, and people would complain, "Oh, your brother is dancing here and there, or like he's jumping around all the time." And then he got involved with a local dance school called the Danceworx, and uh, which who the man who runs it and who founded, his name is Ashley Lobo, which I know him when I was there too. Very nice man. He's more of a choreographer, than an artistic director. So he loved choreographing, and I would see him always, in the studio creating a lot of things with a couple of dancers. And so my brother got involved with the local dance school. They took him, and I think he was paying about half of the monthly, you know, fee. Actually, he would pay about 50% or something, not whatever the amount was. Can't remember right now, but um, and then he knew that I loved dancing and stuff. So then he said, then he brought me to the studio in Bandra, where it was located in. Um, Bandra is a very famous place in Mumbai, like where people go, couples. You would see a lot of couples as well showing up there. So yeah, so then I for an instructor, I did a bit of a little dance. It was kind of like an audition dance, and he saw it, and he was impressed by my moves and what I did, and then he said, okay, yeah, we can work with you. Yeah, we can do something. And then um, I would take a lot of jazz classes as well as contemporary, and I would attend some of morning classes as well, like ballet classes.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, I never attended ballet classes, just jazz classes, as well as contemporary and urban and hip hop.
Yeah.
And actually, Nizam, my brother, had to give up his own place in order for me to dance there. Actually,
Oh wow.
so he loved dancing as well, but he had to give up his own place for me in order for me to dance there, which was sad for me, seeing him not coming to the studio since when I was there, and they said, you both can't be here at the same time. One has to leave.
There was
So
only
he
so
left.
many
So
spaces
he left.
available, or
Sorry.
there was only so many spaces available.
Well, yes, yeah. It was just a tiny studio, wasn't that big.
Yeah.
So he had to give up that place, which was which was hard for me, not seeing him there too, since I was like growing up. Since we were really close, we still talk, often.
Yeah.
But it was sad for me to see that he wasn't gonna come.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just gonna see him outside the studio. That's it. not in the studio dancing.
Mm.
And I always had like a fear of dancing, actually, like just dancing. I mean, in a room I would dance, but like a bunch of people, in front of people, I would have this fear of like, I would go into a freeze mode, actually, like in the beginning, in the starting days. I would go into like a freeze mode, and I would just like get tense, and I would just sit down, and nothing would happen. Everything blank. I wouldn't see anything. And actually, one day I was on a stage, and then halfway through, I just I went to freeze mode again, and then I just ran off,
Wow.
like in the beginning days. Yeah. So I had this fear of not being able to like move freely and always think about what other people are thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that would also put me in a very freezing zone where I wouldn't do anything. And then slowly I kind of learned to to deal with it, and also um, knowing and like teaching myself slowly to build up slowly,
Yeah.
like warming up, boom, boom, boom. So like that's how I also overcome that fear of
Mm.
me being able to do things for thousands of people.
It's absolutely frightening. I'll never forget the first time
Yeah.
I ever danced on a stage. I mean, I've never been so scared in my life.
Absolutely, it's nothing worse than anything, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Like
mean, I
like
remember just right before I went on stage, I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a nightmare. I was so scared. I wanted to just run away. But yeah, for me, as soon as I got on the stage, it just everything went away, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And
it's just like it's you. It's like you and no one.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's about you when you get on stage by yourself. It's about
yeah,
you, who you are, what you carry, and why you were here, what are
yeah,
you here to give. It's
yeah.
it's it becomes all about that. And
Hmm.
I think we as humans, as people, we get scared of telling people who we are, and mostly it's somewhat true in some sense. When like when we get on stage, we in in the starting days, we don't really want to like express ourselves. But as time goes by and you get there often,
Hmm.
you kind of start losing yourself, and you say, well, I'm just going to show myself. You don't need to pretend, you don't need to show a particular role. You just have to be yourself, and people will see that. Like people will immediately
Yeah,
see that.
yeah. Let the
I had
music
that
take
big
over.
fear. Yeah.
And just yeah, it's the most vulnerable, one of the most vulnerable places you can ever be. You're really putting a
Yeah.
piece of yourself out there in front of
Yes.
thousands of people to be judged,
Yes.
and yeah, you do learn after a little while just to find your own little zone, and you go into your own world, and it's the most
Right.
amazing feeling on the planet. I think it's the
Absolutely.
same thing as like an
Once you
athlete.
yeah
you know
once you get like a bit of experience, then you start playing with it. Like
yeah, yeah, and then it's
so.
fun.
Then it's fun. Then it becomes fun,
Yeah,
actually.
takes a
But
little
then
while.
it takes a little while to to warm yourself up, and yeah, just
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, going back to the story, and then so I would attend uh, jazz, contemporary, urban hip hop, and then all of a sudden one day, I mean, I would see this man who Israeli and American man, like this. Um, so he would teach. So I think he was leading the ballet division there, and he was like the go-to person when anybody who were involved into ballet classes. Well, he would teach the more senior classes,
Mhm.
and I would see him with his glasses, like really big big glasses, and like white man, like you know American slash Israeli. So and I mean, and and I would get scared. I was like, "Whoa, who's this? Who's this boom, guy. He would be drinking his um this thing. There used to be a drink those days, Gatorade. You know Gatorade?
Yeah.
Yeah. He would be drinking his Gatorade and having like some fruits and stuff. He had his office, like a little space office where he would sit down, and they like just right next door it would be the changing room, and people would come up there and start warming up, and that's where we got our water from. So whenever we got thirsty, we just would pick up our bottle and just refill it again,
Yeah.
just there. And right next door it was his office with the mirrors. I could see everything, what he was doing in on his computer and in his iPad. Um, and then I clearly remember that I think they were preparing for some repertory to learn there, some basic repertory, and which he was kind of figuring out how, like what to teach, who to give what role to, blah blah blah. And I came that particular day. I came, I think, early for class, and he was just about to go into a class, like he was just about to teach a class, and then he saw my feet, actually, my, as in a ballet role, how
Yeah.
important the feet is. I mean, it just makes a line looks more elegant, and just it just it's just there. You don't have to have feet to become a dancer, actually.
No.
It's like
A lot of great dancers without feet, but yeah,
feet, yeah.
but dancers do kind of obsess over feet a little bit too much.
Well, yeah, I think I agree with you. Actually, a lot of people do. I see them like stretching their like foot like all the time, and like trying to to develop that the
Yeah.
arch.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I had very nice feet, and even I was constantly stretching them and working.
stretching.
It's like one of those things. I can always be more. It's like, all right, relax.
Could always go a bit more.
It could, it's like a jump and a pirouette. It could always be a little higher. You could always do one more
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah, pirouettes. With pirouettes, we get greedy. One more. Yeah. Yeah. So so he saw my feet, and at that point of time, I just couldn't speak any English, actually, apart from I just knew two words: sorry and thank you. That two words I only knew, and all he knew was English and Hebrew,
Yeah.
his own language. So he said stretch your feet. I just didn't understand the word. I was like, what is he saying? And then there were some people, they were like, they translated to me afterwards that he's saying to to point your feet. I pointed my feet, and he came. He was like, even more, even more. So, and then he was like, yeah, he was like, and then we spoke. He said, come to my classes, and then he invited me to join the morning company classes with him, where he would give intensely training to all the dancers there, as well as me, and then I would demonstrate some of the exercises for him, like how it should be, what speed, this the position, and other things. So that's how I got into ballet, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, to answer your question, that's how I
I mean, that's a great story. I mean, makes for a good movie.
It does, actually. I guess it does.
Yeah, I'm curious to know more about your teacher. What was his name? Yehuda?
Yeah, his name is Yehuda Ma'or.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. His character in the movie was quite a jerk.
Yeah, I know. Like the man who played Julian Sands. Yeah, he's an English actor. Yeah, I know. It is. I don't know why they did that. Like
I
I
mean,
don't know why they.
it was. I think because they wanted to develop him and
Well,
show that sort of turn.
probably,
Because in the end, he turned out to be such a great guy with a big
great
heart.
man. Yeah.
But so they wanted to sort of show that contrast, I guess. But in the beginning, I was like, man, this guy is a jerk.
Yeah.
So he's not
Yeah.
really like that, is he?
Well, no, I don't think so. He's a sweet guy. Well, he's a sweet man. Uh, well, yeah. I mean, well, he's a sweet guy. Very nice man.
Probably quite demanding though, right? I mean,
Well,
most
he
really
was
good.
very in the beginning. I would hate him so much for working me so hard.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a good ballet teacher is very demanding, and you
Very
do.
demanding, actually, very much. Like after class every single day, 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes 2 hours after class, after like doing center and everything, variations, um, and other combinations actually, jumping constantly.
Hmm.
In the beginning, taking class 7 days a week.
Yeah. I mean, that's how my teachers were as well. But I knew that they were always coming from a good place. They were very hard on me.
Absolutely, they were. It came from a good place. So, but it's hard for you to understand at that point in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You realize it afterwards. You realize it later. So
Yeah, exactly. So then, so from Mumbai, how did you okay, so I saw this story. It was a great story on the BBC. It was a short clip
oh
about
yeah,
Billy Elliot
BBC.
of India.
Right.
How
Yeah.
did
I
that
mean,
come
a lot of
about?
the press jumped on the story immediately as one press followed up with, and BBC came and BBC said, "Well, we wanted to interview this, and we want to release it." So we we got together. We did some videos, and they finally like released the video. And
Yeah, that was great. It was really cool.
yeah, actually, I think that was right after I came from America, and then I was gonna go and join ABT, the Jacqueline Canadian Art School,
Yeah.
um, professional division, and then after I was just gonna join that, but then Royal Ballet came up
Yeah.
like a month before, I guess, a month before something.
Wow.
I think, and that BBC, when they released it, it was in the UK as well. It was in in London too. It was, I think they were showing all over UK. So,
Hmm.
which I
Yeah.
guess that's how Royal Ballet captured it. Yes.
So did you end up going to ABT?
Well, I didn't actually,
Okay.
because of some issues with the scholarship and all that. Just didn't sounded like the best choice
Hmm.
that time. Um, I almost got the visa to get in to go to New York actually. And
Yeah. And then so it was a visa.
then like no, then I ended up talking to the Royal Ballet School's director.
Mm-hmm.
Then we sort of started the paperwork from there.
Ah, but that's
Then
great. I
I
mean,
joined it. Then I joined first year
yeah.
in London, Covent Garden.
I mean, ABT, Royal Ballet. I mean, this is two of the best places on the planet to be for a
Absolutely,
ballet dancer.
for you to train, like get a good training. Yeah, these places are good.
Yeah.
Like these places will make you. They will make you something. I mean,
Yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely. And not just that. I mean, that they have good facilities. They have a great history. They
Good
have good
facilities.
teachers.
Sorry, I forgot to add that up. But good facilities actually. Good
Oh yeah.
studios, grand studios actually,
Yeah.
where you can do manage like fully,
A
like
proper
complete
manege.
manage. So.
No, but it's also just great to be there and see. Like I remember when I moved to New York, I danced in ABT for a couple of years, and just for me to be around all these big stars, like Alessandro Ferri and Julio Boca and Vladimir Malin,
Right.
it was just like,
I know that too. I know that story of you.
wow,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
same with like you in London. It's just like, wow, you're sitting in the canteens with Osipova and
Yeah.
Irov, and I mean some of the best ballet
Absolutely.
dancers.
Yeah. What was your experience like when you were in New York? With I knew that you just joined the company as an apprentice. right?
Yeah.
ABT, and like how did that, like how, what was like for you?
Well, yeah, for me, it was my childhood dream. You know, since I was a little kid, I wanted to be an ABT. I was watching videos of Baryshnikov all my life, and I thought, okay, that's where I want to dance. I want to do. I was the same. You know, I saw Baryshnikov doing these flips, and I was like, oh, I want to try that. And of course, I hurt myself quite a few times, not very successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I finally got there, and I loved it. It was one of the best days of my life when I got that contract with American Ballet Theatre, and it
It's a
was a great
big thing,
experience.
Casey. Actually, it's a big thing. It's not a small deal. It's a big deal when you get that contract. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it
not
was.
easy. You know, so
Yeah, it was a huge
plus
accomplishment.
there's like so many other dancers as good as you are or better than you are, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
still,
Yeah.
um, they gave you the contract, so you know, it's a big. It was a big deal, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an honor. It was a big deal. But it was also quite intimidating as well because I just came out of school. You know, I was one of the best dancers in my school, and then suddenly you get into ABT, and you're like, man, oh, geez.
Yeah, the real world.
Way at
Yeah,
the bottom.
yeah.
So no, I mean, I left. I was only there for a couple of years, and I left, which I'm glad I did. But I'm glad that I had the experience of dancing there at least for a couple of years. For me, I just didn't want to wait, you know, for so many years. You know, being
There
in
you
a
go. Like,
company.
yeah, you know, it's like you. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time, what I see, like, and in the past, what I've noticed with like dancers is that when you go to like a, you know, big company
Hmm.
where you have technically everybody can do just as what you can do, and artistically as well, what you can do maybe better than what you could have done, is that we wait there for like many years, man, like
Mm,
so many years. And what you lose there is the passion
exactly.
for dancing for so
Yeah.
many years. When you are giving the same role every season, it's like your passion is goes sort of down,
Yeah.
and you don't have that motivation to
Yeah.
do that
It's hard to
when you
keep
go
that
to a
drive.
company which recognize your talent and
Yeah.
your potential, so they put you in a role where you can actually shine.
Hmm.
So that's the reason why people, you know, they waits for such a, you know, for years, and then they end up being in the same rank, and then,
Yeah.
you know, end up being unhappy. And when you are unhappy, the, you know, the artistry just goes down, and so do as your performance level.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. And I saw a lot of that. You know, the dancers in ABT, they were great dancers, but I saw a lot of dancers who kind of, you know, you got to make a choice. Do you want to be in the company of your dreams or do you want to dance? You know, and very
absolutely
few
join
people
a
can
company.
be in their favorite company and dance at the same time, you know. And so most of us have to make that choice. And I decided to go to a smaller company where I could dance. And I'm glad I made that choice. You know, in the end, it paid off for me. But everyone, you know, has to make their own choice, and
Absolutely.
there's no wrong choice or right choice, but you have to understand that that's often a trade-off.
Right. I mean, it's it's like you go to a company to not just to stand or hold a glass. You go to do the repertory.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, you want to do as much as repertory that you can do.
yeah. You want to
You
show
know,
yourself. You want to
show
show
yourself
what
and also build yourself, because that's the time when you actually get more comfortable with the role.
you're.
When you get comfortable with a character, you build, and you actually explore in that character, and you make it your own. Because
Mhm.
every time same song leg's been done for many years, what do you see as a different energy, different approach to the role, and also different charismatic view of how you're gonna make that character into your own. And
Yeah.
that's what the magic is. That's what people come to see Swan Lake or buy there, like over and over,
Hmm.
or Nutcracker, for
Oh yeah,
example.
yeah, exactly. They, you know, people, so many of the audience members, they've seen La Bayadere 1,000 times, but they want to go and see each different dancer, and that same dancer do it on different nights with different partners, you know, and see how they're interpreting. You know, people really get into that. And that's, as a dancer, that's what really feeds your soul, is really just, you know, getting into it and developing yourself into that character, and developing your ability to get out on stage and do what we've trained our whole lives to do.
Yeah. Oh yes, yes, yeah, for sure. I agree with you, Casey, on that. What he just said. Yeah.
So yeah, so you went to, so how was your time in London with the Royal Ballet? You were telling us a little bit about the canteen with the in the Royal Opera House. You know, how
Well,
was that experience going from Mumbai to London? Because that must be a really big culture shock.
well, it was a culture shock for me in the beginning, since I've already been into the US before like heading to London. I was in Portland, Oregon with the Oregon Ballet Theatre. I, j-
Okay.
I did a new Swan Lake version with the company. Well, I was in the main character, just to let you know that did here and there. Went to the costume fitting,
Yeah.
learned a few things, uh, and then and then after about 4 to 6 months, I returned. I had to return to Mumbai again,
Hmm.
and then I was like, it was mostly difficult dealing with people, since that was my first time getting out of Mumbai, India,
Hmm.
and it was just different. And I think along the way, few people um, got a wrong impression
Hmm.
about me, about my personality, which is fine. It's people got just a different impression, and which I can't change that. But
Hmm.
all I can do is make it better for the next time.
Hmm.
So for some reasons, I came, didn't felt like it wasn't the place. It wasn't very intense enough for me to do what I needed to do in the coming years in a
Hmm.
company. I came, trained very intensely for good months before even going to ABT, and then finally end up being in at the Royal Ballet School. Um, so so it was just a bit of a culture, and also um, in terms of food, it was a different. It was a
Yeah.
English breakfast, and English food in general are not tasty. It's not tasty. It's I'm sorry, but I need some flavor.
Tell it like it is, man. I mean, you know, hey, I have to say, you know, I'll never forget the first time I ever tried Indian food. Wow, that blew my mind. It was a great restaurant in New York, not far from ABT. And I'd never, you know, I hadn't eaten that many international styles of food. And my friend was like, oh, let's try this Indian place. I was like, oh, okay, Indian. Wow, that's good. That'll be interesting. Holy crap, my head exploded. And
Boom.
I've just been absolutely crazy for Indian food ever since. So, I mean, I know what you mean. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, when you come from that, it's, poof.
Yeah. I said I need taste. I need some life in my food. I can't eat this food. I mean, it wasn't like, well, I actually, since where I'm coming from, I didn't even have, I lived off even on one potato actually in the
Mm,
whole day. So I wasn't being, being, not grateful, or, not appreciating what I had. But at the same time, I was like, it's for my stomach. It's my stomach is, I just want some flavor. It's simple, and then well, then I learned cooking by myself there. And also it's like you go to when you are in London, it's like more with Royal Ballet and the Royal Ballet Company. It's like there is standards, and people are quite like hierarchy, like, you know what I mean? So there were certain ways of pronouncing people's name, or, just calling or asking how they are. It's like a standard, and it's like there's this thing which, you have to expectation of, carrying that out, which seemed like a bit difficult in the beginning, right? When I just arrived there, getting to know people, seeing how the food affected me as well as people, the way they spoke, the way things really looked like, you know. Um, so in that sort of point, it was different. Not even just that was kind of like sort of different, but at the same time, the training at the Royal Ballet School was different too. So I saw like 15 more other boys just better than me, or just like me, maybe better than me. So, and everybody came from a different training, different background, different circumstances, you see. So that was different, and that kind of shocked me in the beginning as well. But I kind of slowly, overcome that bit too, as well as, tried to deal with people, deal with the training, uh, to see what is comprehensive, and like how it felt like. And like the training was so intense there that the week, 1 week just being at the school, I like, everything was so sore. I was like, I have done even intense work than this, but this seems like the intense work that I've ever done. That felt like, and every night I would take like a hot or a cold bath every night after coming from, finishing the day. That's what I would do, like taking a cold bath.
It's probably a lot of stress as well. I mean, because
stress plays a big role as well in that process.
Because when you're in a comfort zone, and you're familiar with your surroundings, and you have things around you, your comfort area, hard work is hard work, and you can recover and you go back and you do it again. But when you're in a totally different atmosphere, and there's a lot of pressure and stress because of, culture shock primarily, but just being so, being in a totally new environment with a lot of dancers who are also, I had the same thing when I first went to school in Washington, D.C., Yeah, it was very stressful watching all these kids that were so much better than me, and just and for me, I was still within my own country, but still, yeah, I can only imagine being from, coming from Mumbai, or, just coming from such a different place, and just having all that stress around it. It just also adds to it as well.
Absolutely. It's like when you're familiar with the people, the work, it's like you can deal with all that. But when you have stress, it's like you have extra add-on, thing on your shoulder that you have to carry, and you have to put effort, energy into it.
Yeah, and that affects your muscles and how they recover. It affects your joint. I mean, it
physically,
just
mentally, it both ways it affects you.
Yeah.
So that was the training. The training was really intense. But as we said, time heals. Time did heal a lot, but I would say I took most of my time with adopting the system of training at Royal, as well as dealing with people too. Um, so yeah, I mean, just it's just about realizing what is most relevant things are to you, and just focusing on that, and doing whatever, doing best as whatever you can do, and just forget about the rest, because the rest will follow. That's not your responsibility to, kind of watch out for. But if you ask yourself, have I done whatever I need to do for this day?
Yeah.
And whatever I did, have I done it in the best way possible or not? It's like for me right now, what is best thing is to, if whatever I'm building, is to focus on that and do whatever is needed and required to do, and forget the rest. You're putting your best effort as you can at this point in time, at this present moment. That's what you're supposed to do, and forget the rest, and everything will follow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we always want to, we want to prepare for the future. We want to, focus on a lot of different things, but, when you're in a highly stressful situation like that, you really have to just sort of tune out so many other things and just focus on what is most important in that moment.
What is most important to you at the moment? Yeah. So that, I mean, those in the beginning, those were sort of my days there in the beginning. And same thing, same like freeze mood started happening to me again with more dancers there.
Huh.
I would learn everything. As soon as it's my turn to do it, boom, out. Nothing. I didn't even remember one step. Like, as soon as you put the music and next, mirror, completely gone. Silence. And that also took me a long time there to kind of, be like, okay, it's okay to not freak out in a situation like that. And it would always um, give a wrong impression as well, same thing, to people, that what happened, it's not, it's just whenever you are, it's your first time, and you interact with people like that, things happens. It's not that you can't remember a particular choreography or the music or the counts. It's just when it's very, it's like overwhelming. It's like,
Yeah.
it overwhelms you, and you kind of freak out. So
That happens to everybody to a certain degree or another, unless you never put yourself out there. But, if you put yourself into, high pressure situations, it happens to everybody.
And that's how you should expose yourself in the early days, I think. And then slowly, it got better, as well, but more, tough.
And how were your peers and your teachers with all of that? Were they really helpful, or did you have to, was that
Well,
also?
I would say a lot of the people did put a lot of caring into my work, and also were willing to, work with me extra, and which I would say the school, at like artistically, they supported me very well with the work,
Oh, great.
and the potential that I could reach.
Yeah.
And man, like I got injured so many times. I had I was the most visited person in the physio room.
Oh, wow.
Ever.
Huh.
Most visited person
Probably
ever.
had a lot to do with all that stress.
In the stars, in the star school. Like I got injured so many times. I broke my fifth metatarsal, my wrist, my other feet, other foot was also kind of, wobbly, as well as my shoulders, my arms, like everything.
Wow.
Like, you could say like a year. A good year I spent in physio room and running to doctors' appointments in London.
Yeah.
I also got on a crutches too, actually. Wow. 2 times.
Jeez. That's quite the experience. Yeah,
Two
I mean,
times. So
these things make you strong, you know. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
absolutely.
These will definitely make you stronger.
I had such a like a year of constantly like boom getting into it, like getting
Mm,
into it, getting. It's not that I was playing around. It's just maybe the work as I was progressing, the work got like even more, like
intense, or
so.
just like inside your head, or
Yeah, I mean, just the technical demand,
yeah.
as well as food also played a big role, where where I would have just like a little potion, and it's like when you don't really understand about how food works and
Mm,
how it can, like,
yeah, yeah. That's extremely important.
psychologically can affect you,
Yeah,
as well as the sun, actually, because you barely see the sun there.
yeah.
You need the sunshine to make your bones and everything, like you need calcium, so all that things also, like the environment of those sort of things that I'm just listing also played,
Mm,
also plays a part in it, and why, as part of being the reason of why I was constantly getting on a crutch, or
mm.
in a physio room.
Wow.
I would say I had like the most medical reports there.
That's too bad.
uh,
It does happen
yeah,
to some dancers. I
but
know
I
quite
think
a few dancers that have.
in that area, the Royal Ballet and the company, um, they were ready enough to take all those, not just with me, but like other people too, other dancers too, actually.
Oh, that's good.
So they were really strong in that point, in that area,
Yeah.
which I really appreciated for as part of being the school as well as the company, because they had that healthcare system really strong, since at we it's like unpredictable. You can't ever predict what's going to happen to you in the next performance or the
Yeah.
rehearsal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
extremely important to have the medical facilities and the medical know-how and the medical.
facilities, yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in my generation, we didn't have a lot of that.
We didn't have,
Just
yeah,
sort of, yeah, take some ibuprofen and come back tomorrow, see if it, yeah, see how it feels.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. I know that. I know that, and I'm so glad that companies and schools have come together and kind of putting more thoughts on that aspects.
Yeah, I think we're going to make, we're going to provide so many more opportunities to future dancers if we can help them through young ages of development, and teaching them proper medical treatment and how to take care of themselves, and things like that. That's going to help more dancers become more successful down the line, rather than
Absolutely,
just sort of survival of the fittest. Is kind of like, yeah.
I agree, and it also came from my like background of not being able to have like a proper nutrition,
Mm,
portions every day,
yeah,
since I've lived off on one potato like entire day.
yeah,
So I didn't have like what normally other kids or people would have, the amount
yeah,
of calories that they would consume.
yeah. What you should be eating
So
if you're
what you
consuming
should be
that many
eating,
calories.
yeah. So that also, I would say that also came from there too,
Hmm,
of me
right.
being injured most of the time.
Hmm. So, and how did your whole experience in London sort of um, end up? What happened
Right.
as a result there, and now you're in Miami. How did that whole transition
Sure.
happen?
Sure. So, well, I spent 4 years there, since I had to repeat one more year as I was injured for the entire year, which I was really pleased about that, I repeated, and, and, I got whatever I needed to in order for me to go to the next phase of the training.
Hmm.
So, so yeah, so as soon as when I arrived after a few months, I was awarded a Nadia Nerina Scholarship, actually, which is we are so grateful that it's supported by Mr. Loopser, um, which he's from also Netherlands,
Oh, yeah.
Amsterdam.
Ah,
Really great man, and which they supported me throughout the 4 years period there. The years of being there. And well, Nadia Nerina she was a South African ballerina in Royal, principal. She was a prima ballerina, and it's on her name actually. So in Royal Ballet School, there's um, a pledge where whoever's been given the Nadia Nerina Scholarship, they put out their name in the school, like, and you see previous dancers, Christopher Woolden, and like also very well-known people, their names as well. Of mostly Christopher Woolden did for his choreography. So they had like a choreography program in school as well, where people did it, and whoever got the prize, their name would go as well. So uh, my very good friend June, he's in the company at the Royal. He's an artist. As, um, he was the first South Korean actually, because he's from South Korea. So he was the first South Korean, as well as Isaac Hernandez's brother, um,
Esteban.
Esteban. He was the first Mexican, I think, first Mexican dancer to which being able to that he got that particular award.
He's a great dancer.
Yeah, I think he's in
San Francisco. Yeah. Both of those guys are both Hernandez brothers are amazing dancers. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So and then later I was also awarded as the first ever Indian dancers there too. So
you're in good company. That's great. Right. That's some nice stuff there. You're in good company with that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, so definitely, I mean, with good company there. And what they do every year, they organize the fellowship meetup every year. Whoever has been graduated or being funded by the Michael Loopser Foundation, they all come together, and they have fun. They talk about projects, what they are involved in and stuff. So been very thankful for that actually.
That's really cool.
So, and by the coming to the end, I mean, when the whole also pandemic hit as well in March, late in March 2019, where everybody was getting ready to do their assessments actually. And and then what happened is that we got into first lockdown. We came back after good 4 months of not training properly. Came back. I was in my graduate year, and then what happened is that Boris Johnson announced another lockdown, nationwide lockdown, in December, and I was actually working. I was down there in Birmingham with the Birmingham Royal Ballet, which just, I mean, months ago, Carlos Acosta was being announced as the artistic director.
Yeah.
And from the school, we got the invitation to come and join them in the Nutcracker production, a virtual production of Nutcracker, of his version, I think, Carlos Acosta's version, which I did the Trepak with 2 more other guys. I had a funny story in Birmingham. What happened is that one of the Japanese dancer, he's in ABT now. He's just joined the studio company now. Me, him, and other English dancer. What happened is that on the first day, we were in class, and then afterwards we had rehearsal, and then afterwards it was like a whole run through of, I think it was the second act or something. He just did like a normal, normal ensemble, and like he just fell. And then the next thing that is, he's going back to London because I think his feet was, I don't know, his foot was fractured, or I don't know what really happened, but then completely on the first day actually, and we were really surprised that happened to that dancer. And then one more replacement came all the way from um, the school. Another dancer came over to replace him as well. So also got in. That's like after when I had just done the Nutcracker, production with the Birmingham Royal Ballet, and then after a few days, then we were also, I think we were gonna come back in January to complete, the last few months before graduating. So, and then there we go, we have another nationwide lockdown, and boom, off training again. Came back in March, out of shape, struggled a lot. It took a while actually. It took a while to come, like come back, that mindset, it's not an easy thing to do actually, to switch like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since you switch
so
quickly, mentally it plays a big role, like big role on your
yeah, I can't
mind.
imagine.
It took a while, and guess what school has decided to do as a the end of the year show, Elite Syncopation. It's really hard to get the style actually, especially ballroom dancing. It's a very hard to get that style actually. And everybody was like, whoa, are we gonna be able to do this like by the end of the month? And we had somebody staging the ballet, and then, which was good experience, working with someone who has done the original role on herself, and especially being at that age, being vulnerable, not being able to show or to demonstrate, the style, which was hard to work with, if I come to stage a ballet or something, if I'm not able to show it properly, what I really mean with the style, with the musicality, it's really tough to work with stage person. Well, that seemed very difficult to work with in the beginning with Elite, since I did the hothouse rag, the Alaskan rag, the role, which was hard. Plus, since I had like a really tall woman, like a really tall lady to carry and to dance with, well, in the beginning it came out to be fantastic actually, but the beginning point was just seemed like impossible to even do it.
Yeah, I'm sure that took a lot of work.
A lot of work actually, a lot of time spent on changing and rehearsing.
Although I will say, people have this common misconception that partnering is about strength. It's technique. Because I was mostly a partner throughout most of my career. I'm fortunate that I'm quite tall and I was a big guy. But yeah, I used to try to tell people all the time, it's not about strength, it's technique.
It is, it's also about trust, and also what you gotta make your partner feel like at a safe place, make sure you are there. Also, I had a lot of exposure to partnering in Royal, and it took time also. It just takes time to get comfortable with your partner.
That's extremely important. I'm very lucky that myself and my classmates, we all paid a lot of attention to our partnering. And when
Right.
we all got into ballet companies, that really paid off for all of us, that we were not only good dancers, but we also really understood how to partner.
Good partners. Yes.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
very important.
Yeah. Well, because most of the time that's what you will end up doing, like as if
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And it's fun once you learn how to do it and you do it
Absolutely, it's
well,
fun.
and
It's
girls
fun
really
to.
start to trust you, and they believe that you're a good partner, then it's really fun. But if, if they don't trust you and you don't, they don't have a reason to trust you, yeah, no, it's not fun at all.
Yeah, you gotta give a reason. A lot of the ballerina, like a lot of the in the school, a lot of the people hated me in partnering in the beginning. They're like, oh, we're not gonna go with him. But it took time. It took understanding and some thoughts on it, and yeah, and then it was better.
I used to watch when I was an apprentice. Well, my 2 years that I was at ABT, 1 year apprentice, 1 year in the corps, I used to watch Julio Boca dance with
Right.
Nina
Yeah.
Ananashvili. I mean, yeah, he's a very small person, and watching him dance with Nina was like, wow, and he just handled her, partnered her just amazing, and that's where I was like, okay, it's not strength. I was a big strong guy, and I was just using brute strength to partner, and I saw right there, I was like, no, 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 it's finesse, it's technique. And, you know, he just handled her amazingly. It was flawless the way he would partner her. And she was quite a bit bigger than he was. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No. Right. Yeah. Well, it is an understanding and just takes time to to get into your day-to-day thing.
Yeah. And eventually people start to trust you, and then yeah, that worked for me a lot. I was a good dancer, I had good jump and stuff like
Absolutely, I've
that too, but
seen
I
the
got
videos. Incredible.
most of my big jobs that I got, I was guested with English National Ballet and San Francisco Ballet and lots of companies around the world. Most of it was because I was a good partner.
After yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I really,
Absolutely. When you are like tall and when you like a prince, it's like a prince shop too.
yeah, I don't know how many Swan Lakes I did.
Yeah.
I went all
I'm
around the
sure you
world
have done
doing
a
Swan
lot.
Lakes with every company. I was like, okay, another Swan Lake. All right, yeah, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining, but
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, the lockdown. I mean, I can't imagine. My girlfriend is still dancing. She's in the Dutch National Ballet, and just watching her go through that, that sort of, you know, break. Okay, long break. Okay, now we're back. Oh no, now we're off again. And
Absolutely.
just watching the frustration and sort of the questioning. She was working like crazy, but all of the dancers were feeling the same thing. Like, what are we working for? Of course, we're working for ourselves. We're working for our careers, but to be thrown here and yes, we're dancing, now we're not, and yes, we are, and it just really plays a huge toll. It takes a huge toll on your body, which everybody understands, but it
Yeah.
has also a huge impact on your
Psychology.
psychology as well, which I think people don't quite understand, the psychology of what that does to you as a career. And as an established dancer, she's been in the company for a long time, she's danced with several companies. I can only imagine that it must be even that more frustrating for students also looking at the future job market and
Right.
going, oh my gosh, what is
Oh
this?
yes. Oh yes. Yeah.
I mean,
I
what was
mean,
that?
when people return, you should have seen their faces. Honestly, just my faces as well. My face was like, my God, like, why am I here? Like, what am I doing? You know, it's like nobody had the motivation or the energy to come back to the studio again. Yes, you were excited, but it's like you don't have that motivation again. You have to find it. You have to find the inspiration again.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
think a lot of people all around the world kind of felt the same thing. There is comfort in that, and it's not just ballet dancers, it's just performers and people in all professions, coming back and going, okay, now we all got to get back into this thing. There is sort of a comfort in saying, okay, at least the whole world is going through it together. So, but at the same time, it's also like, wow, yeah, it must be frustrating. I was really glad that by that point I was already retired. I was looking at that thinking, wow,
Yeah.
that doesn't look fun.
Right. Yeah, I know. I know. It's just, yeah. it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. So
But
how is it for you now? I mean, thinking about, because it's still in the back of everybody's minds, you know, we're still having to do QR codes.
it is. I mean, it's like if people I mean, people do take care of themselves, but if we put a bit more extra care in ourselves, I think we're gonna get out of this because, well, wait, I mean, if you look at the past history, we have seen, you know, we have seen even bigger shit like this than what we are facing right now. So
Oh yeah.
we're gonna get through this. Like everybody, whoever is listening to this, like we're gonna get out of this thing, but not until if we start taking care of ourselves and, you know, make sure that we are doing whatever we need to do, or we're just gonna be in this forever. Actually, it's taking more time than what it should have done. Actually, what it should have taken already. But we're gonna get out of this because things are improving. Actually, things are improving, and uh, it will get better. You know, before it gets worse. Actually, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I've been saying all along since the beginning, I really think that our industry and our art form is going to be a lot stronger after this, you know.
It will be
But like we were talking about earlier, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And this didn't kill our art form. I think in the long run, it'll make us stronger. It'll make us better. It'll make us think about things a little bit more consciously about why we're doing it, what we're doing it, how we're doing it, how we can communicate with new audiences, you know. Yeah, I think one of the coolest things in the world to me was the fact that all of a sudden out of nowhere, all these top ballet companies around the world are streaming performances. And it's like, when in the world could somebody in Mumbai get on the internet and watch the Royal Ballet or American Ballet Theatre or the Dutch National Ballet or the Bolshoi, you know, you just get on your phone and you can watch it. You know, when has that ever happened in history? I think that's amazing.
Absolutely. Well, it is amazing. It made us think differently than what we think.
Yeah. And we're exposing so many new people to ballet and to art that had never had the opportunity to watch it and expose themselves to it. So I think that right there is going to make us way stronger and way better. You know, we're going to start really reaching out to people around the world in a new way. And that's exactly why we're talking right here. That's what Ballet Rising is all about.
Absolutely.
Reaching out to people. Yeah.
And I've seen, you know, the work that you're doing, Casey, and I feel like it's so incredible what you're doing with, you know, Ballet Rising and your vision, you know. And I do hope people, you know, respect that and come along together to, you know, to help your vision, you know, come true.
Yeah, I think everybody's been really supportive, you know, since the day I started the project. It was quite a few years ago. I actually kind of launched it in India. Yeah, in Delhi. And you know, since then, everybody's been very supportive. I think the whole community is like, yeah, this is great. You know, I need to do a lot more organization and really get it fine-tuned and worked up to be a top-notch project, but it's getting there. But yeah, it's great to have so many people like you involved and to talk to people like you and yeah, just bring the community together. So I want to get to Miami really quick, just to talk about what's happening in Miami, and then we can talk a little bit more about your future project that I'm really interested in.
Thank you. Well, at the moment, we are rehearsing for the George Balanchine's Nutcracker, which is exciting, and as well as Alexei Ratmansky's Swan Lake. Alexei was here for 2 weeks. We worked with him. Great guy.
Yeah.
Also, his wife, such a kind lady. She is. Been a pleasure working with those two people, actually. Yeah, such a joy of, you know, being able to do good stuff in his production, actually.
Yeah.
He came down here for 2 weeks, and it was great learning. You know,
he's a really nice guy.
He's a really he's such a warm, and yeah, you don't realize it until you talk to him, you know.
Yeah. How was the adjustment? I mean, I grew up with Balanchine. I'm from the United States. I had mostly Russian training, but you know, switching from Russian to Balanchine was like, whoo,
Absolutely. I had Russian training as well, but for Balanchine, it's kind of tough to get into. Like Russian and Balanchine doesn't really go along together.
It's
You
very,
know,
yeah, they're very different
it's very
styles.
different. It's
Yeah.
very different actually. And in Balanchine, you have to move fast, like really quick. And in you know, like rules ballets are like slow and it's but Balanchine is like quick work and like same thing with the Royal Ballet. There's quick footwork too, but not as Balanchine the
Mm.
way Balanchine projects as
Yeah.
the Balanchine technique. So which was different. Well, I worked with John Clifford.
Okay.
Uh, he was Balanchine's protege in the time
Yeah.
in those days, and wonderful man.
Mm.
Well, he throughout his life he known Balanchine very on a personal level and a professional level too,
Mm.
which I was extremely happy to work with him in Los Angeles. I went down there to we took some classes, learned some uh, repertory which were created on him, some of it too. So it was really amazing to see the original the role that was created on him and kind of learning from him, which
Yeah.
was like wow, great, and which he kind of you know taught me some of the Balanchine's key work, and if you want to move fast and quick, what do you need to do? And it is different. It's difficult. It's difficult to move quick. Actually, easy. Slow work is easy. You can do it. On timing, but quick work is it's most difficult, and which I'm really now focused on right now. Quick work,
Mm.
as
Mm.
well as uh, uh, steady work, and also Lotus Lopez. She's an amazing director here.
Yeah. Very nice woman.
She saw me. She asked me to join the company, and people are very nice here. I mean, and uh, well, one day she was teaching a morning class, and she said, I want you all to do the slow work as well as the quick work, for you. So so yeah, I mean, and I would agree. Well, those both things come with time,
Yeah.
and patience. You have to kind of allow yourself, your body to do that too. So yeah, well, amazing lady, good, really, amazing vision, that she has, and yeah, that's what I would say. That's what we've been doing, and we're gonna start learning jewels as well.
Oh,
So
that's fun. That's fun.
yeah,
I've danced. I always did emeralds, and I like emeralds, but it's not my favorite. I always like diamonds and rubies, but
thank you.
yeah, I always did emeralds. But rubies is amazing. I think that's one of the
Yeah,
really great
yeah,
classics, George
and
Balanchine.
Prodigal Son is coming as well. So
Ah,
that is
cool. Another one I never danced. That was yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I loved watching it.
No,
Yeah,
it's
cool
great.
ballet.
So that's what's been we've been up to at the moment
Oh,
with
great. Nice.
here.
So yeah, you've got a new project that we were just discussing the other day, and I think it sounds really, really cool. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, absolutely. Thank you for giving that opportunity for me to talk about that particular thing. Well, I'm releasing an app which I originally founded in 2017 as soon as I went to Royal, and after all my stress and everything calmed down a little bit, kind of put my head down and was like, okay, it's time to create something for community, but never really had that much of courage to even start something. But then as years went by, I was like, okay, now I have to do this. I have to build something for my community, not just for our community but for other community too. Well, I'm releasing and I'm launching an app called CAD, which will be available in Android as well as iOS, and it has a website as well. It's a UK-based social media / collaboration tool company, which gonna allow a lot of dancers to connect with each other, also to send collaboration requests to people, and they can get all the information actually on your collaboration purpose, why you are collaborating, um, and also it's not just gonna benefit it's not just gonna benefit you just connecting with people. Also, it's gonna provide you employment. It's gonna give you employment rating. So the people that who in the past have worked with you, they're gonna also be able to rate you of your employment. How you since okay, me myself and Casey are collaborating. I sent Casey a collaboration request. I work with Casey. Fantastic. Afterwards, I get to rate Casey of the way he was engaged with my work and with my project. So people, it will tell you that too, like your employment rating, how like your comments and how you've worked with people. It gives you all the information about why they want to collaborate. Also, how much they're gonna also pay you. Also the dates. And it's totally up to you if you want to accept it or deny it or put it on hold or you want to do it later. So it's all negotiable. You can negotiate and yeah.
So I'll be able to contact future guests on Ballet Rising.
Absolutely, Ballet Rising, yes, absolutely. Future guests, you don't need to send them email. You can just do this.
Just go right through the app.
Right through the app. Just one app, done.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think we need more connectivity. We need more networking in this industry, and we need to use more technology.
Technology as well, I would say.
Really been lacking for many years. I mean, us in the arts industry, we do eventually adapt to technologies, but we're kind of always, on the later end of that.
Later end and slow, So, but I think now, since what we have like gone through and still going through it, I think people are gonna adopt it, and I think they should. I encourage people to, use the technology and use the tool to actually put themselves out there, out of people like you, artistic directors, not just artistic directors, but film producers, film directors, like musicians and so forth. That's what I would say, and
I think it'll be great. And I'll put all the information in the link down below in the video. But what's the website one more time?
Absolutely. It's called www.theoutdoor.com/. The app is going to be available end of this year, but we are looking to launch it in December at some point in Christmas. But the date hasn't disclosed yet, but which we will. We are trying very hard to launch it by this end of this year.
Cool.
We've been working on it for so long right now, and just want to patiently waiting to see how the ballet world, especially, and other community gonna react to this to this thing, actually, Cassie. Yeah, it'll
be cool. So I'll put the links and everything so everybody will be able to see that down below.
Absolutely, they can read about it. There will be some slides in this video. I hope that they can read it and also get more information on it, right, Casey?
Yeah. Well, hey man, there's a billion things I'd love to say. I could sit here and talk to you for like the next 10 hours. But I'll probably let you go. But let's definitely connect again. Is there anything you'd love to just say to the world right now? Anything boom, this is your moment. I just want to say this to the world.
Well, whenever you have the chance to do anything for people, please do it. That's what I would say at the end. If you are in a position to do anything for people, please do it, because here we came here to do whatever we need to do, but also to give back. And that's what my message will always be, that give back to people in any way that you can do.
Spot on,
Share
man.
the kindness and, you know,
Pass
the
it
same
on.
benefit that you enjoy. So yeah, Casey.
Perfect, man.
And happy World Ballet Day.
Happy World Ballet Day. Thank you so much for being the guest on the Ballet Rising videocast for World Ballet Day. I think couldn't be a more fitting person for it. So yeah, great to talk to you. Great to meet you. And I'm really looking forward to talking to you more in the future.
For sure, definitely. Ballet Rising, I'm here.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Casey.